Good morning and welcome back to a brand new video. And I think that today is only my second proper rest day since I've arrived in Calpe. And when I say proper rest day, I mean a day where I don't touch the bike at all. No cafe ride, no nothing. I'm at the beach. This is Calpe Beach. It's very, very easy to feel guilty on a rest day to not do some sort of riding, whether it's in half an hour on a turbo trainer or an hour ride to the cafe. I find it especially hard sometimes being away here in Calpe when you pretty much have nothing else to do other than train. It's quite hard to just take a day completely off the bike, but what you have to remember is your adaptations to the training that you've been doing over the past few weeks. They are made through recovery, and that recovery comes on your days off the bike. So I thought that I would bring you along on one of these said rest days so you can see what I get up to. My day starts at, just like any other day, my day starts at 8 AM. I would love to get up earlier, but it's important that you allow your body to sleep, to rest, to recover from all the training and all the filming and editing that I've been doing. But I like to keep myself into a routine of getting up at 8 AM every single day, whether it's a day on the bike or a day off the bike. It's always good to be in the same routine, and here in Calpe, setting my alarm every morning for 8 AM seems like a pretty good base. Between 8 and 9 I have my breakfast, I head down to the lounge, chat with the other lads about what they're up to today, and then from about 9 o'clock onwards I crack on with my work and editing my video. I do 95% of my editing of my videos in the villa, in the lounge or in my bedroom. But when I've got a day off the bike like today, I like to come into town, head to a cafe. A little bit of a different environment, a different stimulus is always good for the mind as well. And I found this cracking little place on Google Maps this morning called the Coffee Box. So this is where I intend to spend the next 1 or 2 hours finishing off editing my video. Right there. Cafe con leche. See, like this. Just about done with this edit. 4 hours it's taken me. It's supposed to be a rest day. 4 hours and 18 minutes I just spent in that establishment. Great cafe though. The funny thing is, because I was in Coffee Box for so long, I've genuinely forgotten where I parked my car. I mean, it's in the vicinity of the town somewhere, but I can't exactly remember where I parked it. There it is. Okay, so I thought that whilst today is a day off, it would be a great opportunity to mention something that was brought to my attention. Mention something that was brought to my attention a few days ago, and that is a couple of guys who are going to be attempting to ride 9 of Europe's most famous climbs. They are doing this in May. It consists of 3,200 kilometers and over 50,000 meters of climbing. It sounds like a pretty savage challenge, but the reason they are doing this, a reason I know will touch a lot of people and be close to home for a lot of people, they're doing this in awareness of mental health, and ultimately they're doing this for the James's Place charity. It's such a powerful topic, something that we should all talk about, and no one should be ashamed of talking about mental health. There is a huge stigma around this, and these two lads, in doing this challenge, hope to take some of that stigma away and to just generally raise awareness for this whole sort of topic and subject. I'll put all the relevant links in the description box down below. Go and check out their Instagram, give them a follow. I'll put all the donation links down below as well if you want to go and give a donation. They also host a podcast talking all things mental health and well-being and mindfulness. It's a really great podcast. You should check it out and get on board with the whole 9 Mountains collective. Okay, here's my open letter to Zwift. So with today being a rest day, it's allowed me to have a little bit of reflection over the past few days. The last 3 videos that you've seen on this channel have involved some sort of Zwift racing. Tuesday was just a midweek race. Wednesday was the Super League with Laura, and then on Thursday was the KISS Community Preseason race with my team Wahoo, presented by Cycling Hub. Because today's been a rest day, it's allowed me to have a little bit of time to reflect and sort of consolidate my opinions over the past few days. And I thought, instead of kind of keeping these thoughts to myself, I would make a video and I would address an open letter to Zwift, giving my thoughts, my praises, but also my criticisms towards Zwift, and more specifically esports. So I first got on Zwift when it was in beta in 2015. Was it 2015? Quite a few years ago. I used it maybe for 2 hours in 2015, and then I didn't touch it again. Pretty much didn't touch it again until I think 2017. It kind of didn't really kick off for me initially. I didn't get it, I guess. Like most of us, I get on my bike every day because I love riding my bike in the outdoors, riding up mountains, especially in foreign countries like this. And I just didn't see the appeal of Zwift, and I don't think there's any shame in saying that. Now this kind of changed at the start of, I'd say, sort of mid 2018, when Zwift started getting more popular. They started releasing more courses, there's more races, more organized races, and what really got my attention was this sort of cycling esports phenomenon. A little bit of background, I was quite into my gaming growing up. I still am into gaming. I love watching the Optic guys. I'm a big fan of Nature and 100 Thieves, so you know, I know competitive gaming, I know competitive Call of Duty, competitive Fortnite. My downtime when I'm not riding my bike or making videos, you'll probably find me on my laptop watching some gamer streaming. And when I heard of the potential for Zwift to sort of join into that market, like, that's when it clicked for me, and I was instantly hooked. It was then announced that Zwift have raised another 120 million, and I'm led to believe that a lot of that is going to be the investment into esports and the investment into sort of commercializing Zwift racing. I'm approaching, I think, 10 races now, which isn't a lot, I mean, but it's a few, and it's given me a little bit of an idea as to racing. And also a number of those races have been quite a high standard of racing, so you know, with some pretty well-known Zwift races, I decided to just throw myself in at the deep end, and through these 10 races I'm starting to learn how to race on Zwift. It's much more of a game than you sort of realize, when to use your power-ups, even down to simply knowing at what parts of the course do you receive a new power-up. So you know, you've got to use your power-up before you get to the top of this climb, because you're going to get a new one. Learning how to draft in the wheels, you can ride much easier than you would initially think when you're especially going down a descent or on a flat part of the course, if you're in a group of 100 riders, for example. So I'm a massive fan of Zwift, and I hope that it commercializes. I hope it turns into an esport, and I genuinely think it can be as big as Call of Duty. But here's my criticisms, and here's what I think Zwift need to address before this can sort of progress to the level that it deserves to be at. The first thing is, we all know how much people desire to be professional. The amount of times you hear people say, oh, I wish I could climb as fast as Chris Froome, I wish I could be as good as Geraint Thomas, I wish I could win the Tour de France. You know, it's kind of that, it's that dream. And with Zwift, this kind of allows it, because you know, it's so easy to change your weight. So yes, you're probably not going to go that far, because once you start getting into bigger competitions, you're going to be getting weighed, and you know, you'll soon get figured out if you're cheating. But for individual races, it kind of just takes the fun away from it. If you know, like if you can see someone's in that race and they are clearly much lighter than what they are saying that they are, then it just kind of takes the fun away. And the only people that they're cheating is their self. You know, I can kind of see why people want to do it. They want to aspire to be as good as these top Zwift racers, as these top pros. They want to be able to climb up out the Zwift as quick as the best guys can do. And in simply changing their weight by 20 or 25 kilograms, 30 kilograms, they can do that, and they can ride at a much faster pace than they could do in real life or do out on the real road. Yeah, at the lowest standard races, at the midweek races, let people put whatever weight they want in. If they want to cheat, then let them cheat. You know, they're only fooling themselves. They're living in this false sense of reality. Because for me and for other, you know, semi-serious Zwift racers, the lower down standard, the midweek races are nothing more than a training session, and to, you know, fire up on your technical skills in racing in a bunch online on Zwift. Before those races, we don't really need to police them. People can do whatever they want. But then as you progress into a higher ranked race, for example, I don't know, maybe we're gonna be able to eventually do some wager tournaments or some wager races, and for these races, I think there needs to be a complete certification, authorization, I don't even know, is that the right word? Authentication. So perhaps an idea that Zwift could do is put a small part of this 120 million and open up centres across the UK or across Europe, across America, where you can go, you can weigh yourself, and you can get signed off by an accredited Zwift weigher inner, and then that way we know that people definitely aren't going to be cheating their weight. Obviously this is quite a big step forward, and maybe in the interim, Zwift could implement a system where you have to physically show yourself on a camera, weighing yourself on a set of scales, showing the camera the weight. And even though that isn't completely foolproof, and I'm sure people will still be able to cheat that system, it's definitely gonna discourage people from cheating, and it's definitely gonna make things a little bit more fair. Obviously at the world events, you know, the CVR World Cup, you're at a physical location, everyone's on a standardized turbo trainer, and everyone gets weighed before they race. So it's, you know, cheating on that scale wouldn't happen, or is very unlikely to happen. I don't want to get to a stage where the only competitive racing is going to be in an arena. Part of the beauty of Zwift is being able to do it from your own home. It's being able to do it in your lounge, and you're able to race people across the world. And if you can do that in a tournament to win some money, you know, how good would that be? That would be insane. But then it forgoes the question. We think of esports, we think of Call of Duty, and everyone's either on a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox 360. They're all in the same system. So do we need the same system with Zwift? Should everyone be on a Wahoo Kicker? Should everyone be on a Tax Neo? Should everyone be on, you know, a Watt Bike Atom? In principle, it would make a lot of sense, but also, you know, that's simply not going to happen. So perhaps we can bring in some sort of certification where if you're racing in the top level or at a decent standard on Zwift, you have to have a certain turbo trainer that passes a certain sort of specification. So then we don't get any dodgy turbo trainers. We don't get any people smashing the races on a pair of rollers or on a dumb trainer. Everyone has to be on a smart trainer, and everyone has to be on a smart trainer that passes this level of certification. I don't know. They're my opinions. I'm sure Zwift is going to be successful in esports, whether they implement any of those suggestions or not. I'm very excited to see what the future holds. Let me know down below, where can you see Zwift in 5 years time? Where can you see cycling esports? Is cycling esports going to be as big or even bigger than traditional road cycling? Guys, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Back on the bike training tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today's rest day vlog, and with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Just watch me breaking.